Again, thank you, Madam Chair, members of this committee. I'm Representative Ryan Dotson of the 73rd House District. Today, I'm here to present to this committee House Bill 23. This piece of legislation is very simple, but yet a very profound measure. Madam Chair, we have a committee sub that I would like to introduce and briefly explain.
We have a motion on the sub by Representative Banta, a second by Representative Massey. All in favor? All opposed? Committee sub is adopted. Please proceed.
Originally in the bill, we included K through 12 and post-secondary education when it comes to biological males playing in female sports. But with this committee sub, and after talking with many of my colleagues, we thought it would be appropriate to cut out kindergarten through 5th grade, since that a lot of puberty changes doesn't occur until latter 4th, early 5th grade. So this committee sub takes K through 5 out of this measure, because most of the physiological changes don't really begin to occur in young males until the latter part of the 4th and 5th grade. House Bill 23 simply states that biological males cannot compete in an all-girls sport. Section 1, paragraph G of KRS 156.070 defines how sex is determined. First of all, you could use an original, unedited birth certificate. And in cases where a birth certificate is edited, and there are times that does happen. At times, mother doesn't declare the paternity. In other states, that is not necessary to declare sex at birth. So in those cases, then a sworn affidavit from a physician, advanced practice registered nurse, a physician's assistant, or a chiropractor is sufficient. Any individual can participate on a boys or co-ed team, but this piece of legislation specifies girls' teams. KHSAA doesn't have the purview to hear any challenges regarding biological males participating in an all-girls sports. Section 2 of this measure is our enforcement measure. If a female student is deprived of an athletic opportunity or suffers direct or indirect harm or is retaliated against as a result of a violation, then she shall have a private cause of legal action. In that action, she will be entitled to two things. First of all, an injunctive relief, which is a court order stating that the violator or the violation should have to stop immediately. Secondly, is monetary damages in an amount of no less than $5,000 with no cap for compensatory damages if proven otherwise. Section 3 of this bill simply includes post-secondary education, and it prohibits the NCAA from hearing any action arising from biological males competing against females. 37 states have already taken up this legislation. 10 states have passed it, with South Dakota just passing it earlier this month. At puberty, males begin to have increased muscle mass, strength, including increased heart size, higher hemoglobin levels, which carries oxygen throughout the body. Muscle to fat ratios compared to females are much greater. Greater bone density, greater metabolism rate, thus releasing faster energy. The clear physiological differences led to major physical advantages for males over females. Many of y'all may remember Florence Griffith Joyner, commonly known as FloJo. This lady was the epitome of female sports. She worked, she labored, and she reached the pinnacle. But in 2017, 37 high school boys beat her record in the 100-meter. Those boys didn't train as she trained. They didn't work and put the effort in that she did. But because of their birth, they had physiological and physical advantages. We see that we need to create a level playing field for our girls across the Commonwealth. In many sports organizations, the only requirement for playing as a transgender female is a year of testosterone suppressants or blockers. But that in itself is not enough, because by the time puberty comes, the physiological differences are already so prevalent and the physical advantages are already there. Isn't it ironic? here we are today, 50 years after Title IX, that we are defending women's sports. We have currently 51 co-sponsors on this measure in the House. This affects scholarships for young ladies. Feminists are speaking out. Members of the LGBT community are divided on the issue. This law ensures that both sexes get the opportunity to play in a competitive sport. I don't want one single girl in our state to lose a female sports title, a scholarship, or more importantly, to play a girl's sport. This is fundamentally about fairness. It ensures both biological females, biological males, have a level playing field. We don't want to deprive any of the females of these opportunities. This is not a Democrat issue. This is not a Republican issue. This is not a red state, blue state issue. There has been a poll all across America that people are crying out, save women's sports. In a recent study, only 1/4 of males receiving hormone therapy were able to even achieve the level of testosterone that females have. 1/4. And even at that, the physiological changes have already taken place. And despite 12 months of testosterone suppression, male subjects in one study still enjoyed 50% greater leg strength than a central group of healthy females. Now, we talk about science a lot, and we use it to our advantage when it fits our narrative. But let me just give you just a little bit of scientific information here. Men average around 60 to 100% greater arm strength, 25 to 60% greater leg strength, and approximately 60% greater grip strength than women. In baseball, tennis, and volleyball, men are able to throw, hit, kick the ball further, faster than women. On average, females throw a ball at 60 miles per hour, when on average a male does the same at 81 miles per hour. The advantages are distinct. They are there. And this issue needs to be taken care of. And here we are today defending our women's sports.